I got to turn that back on. Hey, it actually works. Look at that. Anyway, oops, did I? Yeah, I unmuted you guys. You can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. I wouldn't want to get my temper up and everything and start cussing at things. Well, of course, that goes on every day. What the hell? Wasn't that a neat effect? See that, Evan? See that? Watch. No, all I got to do, now all I get to do is replace that stinking board. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that. I got to see if there's a connection or something bad.
Otherwise, I guess we have to use our imaginations, right?
Yeah, I'm not that imaginative. Let's go to that one. Hey, look at that. Anyway, good morning, guys. Nate, Gordon, and whoever else wants to pop in here, we probably will. We got quite a bit to talk about today, including another Browns fiasco, and then on top of that, we've got couple of a couple of yeah, you know what I mean. It's a college sports or college football games to talk about. One of them being the Alabama Oklahoma matchup last night. First quarter, I watched that thing. I thought, man, Oklahoma's going to walk all over them. That's not the team I know. And then all of a sudden, they get to halftime and it's close to being tied. In fact, I think they did go in tied, didn't they? And the next thing you know, they come on. Whatever that coach said in that locker room for Alabama really must have hit home because they kicked ass after that first half. But well, anyway, what do you guys think?
Well, I was just wondering, were you hollering Roll Tide?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I watch the stuff so I can know what's coming to the pros. Yeah, that was definitely a pretty good game last night, to say the least. But anyway, that's the size of that. What do you? Where'd everybody go? Okay.
Well, I'm here.
I'm here.
We haven't gone anywhere.
I'm not seeing you, Pat, but
yeah, neither am I.
You're not seeing me.
We're seeing a test pattern, and that's about it.
That's it.
What?
Yeah, you didn't pay the light bill, or the hamster quit on you. Whatever it is, we can't see you.
One and the other.
I've been switching back and forth. Huh.
But,
oh, I know why. Duh. How about that? Look at that smiling face on you guys. Anyway, to make a long story short, that was a pretty good game last night. We'll talk about that way before we'll talk about them stinking Browns, who I just love so dearly. Well, whatever. So, what did you guys think of that game last night? Get to watch it?
I didn't watch much of the game last night. I looked a little bit here and there, but I really didn't. And my intent was this morning to get up and look at scores and everything, and I hadn't thought I was going to have to make a last minute run to run over to the church, preparing to run over there, and then things worked out, and I didn't have to swing by the church early.
Oh, that's good. Another week will be past Christmas. Good grief.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to celebrating it, but I'm happy for it to be over.
Yeah, that's believe me, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. It's the whole, whole Santa Claus thing nowadays. get to that point. He's reached that point.
You believe in Santa Claus, man?
I'm ready for Santa Claus to come and go.
Yeah, with everything that's happened in the last 6 months or so, plus I've got, I guess, my son-in-law was in the hospital a little over a week. I guess he came home last night, but
Good.
he was not in too good a shape when he went in there. And then with everything else that's happened with Sean and everything, it's just I'm in a mood, but I'm not in a mood.
Gotcha.
You know, it's just like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
But you know, I know Santa Claus, and he's a very good guy. He's a very good guy. He's a very good guy.
I actually did watch the game last night, so I'll comment on it. You saw very much the same game I did, Pat. I think Kalen DeBoer saved his job at Alabama. He was hired from the University of Washington to replace Nick Saban, who is, of course, a legend after Paul Bear Bryant. And there was some swirling winds around Tuscaloosa that if for some reason Alabama was blown out last night, Kalen DeBoer was not going to be keeping his job a whole lot longer because there have been some question marks about whether or not he is the right guy for the job to keep Alabama moving along, winning. Although in his case, I don't think he's going to have that question, until he plays Indiana next week. So we'll see if he is able to keep things going. But for at least 1 week, he's been able to shut people up. And as you pointed out, that indeed was a very good game. It was very well played. It was a study of two different halves. Oklahoma, dominated the first half, and then Alabama picked up the pace and pulled away at the end. So that did prove to be a really good game. And I'm thinking personally that out of all of the games that are going to be played in this first round, the next 3 are today. That was probably the most entertaining because I'm expecting to see blowouts in at least 2 of these games coming up today because of who the opponents are. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I thought they were pretty. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it was pretty much billed as I think most folks anticipated that one being a good game, and good to see the coach save his job after what we've seen last week, and a little over a week now, and someplace else.
Yeah, I thought if you look at that both those teams against Ohio State, it looked like Ohio State would beat them both. At least that was my opinion on it. I know it's Big 12 and all that, but the way it looked, the coaching staff was doing its job, but barely. And for them to get, and for Oklahoma to have, I think it was 17 unanswered points, you got something a little screwy with your networking there. But it actually, I don't know if it was just the fact that that other coach was fearing for his job and hyping his players up and all that, or if it was just a fluke. Some of these college games, you just don't know that. Anyway, let's. Is there any other college stuff we need to talk about? When's the next OSU game?
Next week. It's on New Year's Eve. They're going to face the winner of Miami and Texas A&M.
And they play today at noon.
Mm-hmm.
If that's Texas A&M, they ought to be pretty. Well, hello, Serge. How are you?
Yes, sir.
I'm hanging in there considering.
Yeah, we all. by my thumbs. Anyway, I'm looking for if that's a Texas A&M and Ohio State game, that's going to be a hell of a game. It'll put this one last night to shame, just because. Anyway,
Ohio State looked really suspect
Well,
against Indiana.
well, I'm gonna say this: that Indiana defense was no joke.
They look, but Ohio State looks suspect sometimes. They're. I mean, I put it like this: as much as I root for them and hope they win a championship, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't win the championship. They look extremely suspect, and I'm not as high on their quarterback as I used to be. Not at
After
all.
one game, you're willing to
No,
say
not
all
after
that?
one game. After the collection of a few games, when I looked at as I watched his play, when his two big guns were out, I wasn't. I was less impressed. And because those two big guns, his receivers, those aren't uh, by any stretch of the imagination average good receivers. Those are extraordinary, exceptional receivers.
Yeah, they are.
And if I look at that game and I look at Indiana and Indiana's quarterback and their collection of talent, and I imagine swapping the collection of receivers with Indiana, I'm looking at a score of like about 70-10 or something. I mean, it's insane. So yes, he's a good quarterback. And he still has a whole lot of promise, but he's a tad bit overhyped for right now.
Well, he's a
He has a
freshman,
bright future. Yeah, he has a
soon to be a
bright future.
sophomore. But I
Yeah.
also think that I also think that he earned his plaudits for this season. So that's a little bit unfair to say that he's overhyped.
The reason why I think, and the reason why I also think he's overhyped is because I believe, he won his position allegedly over the other quarterback. And I actually like the intangibles of the other quarterback a little bit better. I think he's a little bit more versatile. And I would have liked to seen in the game that they had because he struggled a bit. I would have liked to have seen them mix it up and throw the other quarterback in the game a little bit. They done that a few times throughout the season. I would have liked to have seen that. I think it would have benefited them to do that. But like I said, he's he's by no stretch of the imagination a scrub, not by a long shot. But I do feel that he's a tad bit overhyped when I consider the receivers that he has. He
But
has two receivers right now that could be on pretty much almost any roster in the NFL and be starters right now
Yeah,
today.
that's a testament to their recruiting.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
But
That's a testament to their
yeah,
recruiting.
agree there. Yeah, definitely a testament to their recruiting. But I must say this: that defense was that they played against. That defense was something different. Because now, don't get me wrong, I saw some mistakes he made. There was a couple times where maybe the sacks were cover sacks, but a lot of what I saw was, man, he didn't have much time, and they had two guys, they were covered, but at the same time, the defense, just the way they blitzed, I think it was a heck of a coaching job. And you know, we could see them meeting up again, possibly,
Yeah, because I mean it's
because
interesting.
Indiana, that defense was great. It was great.
Well, let's
Now, and the other side of that was, I mean, because Ohio State couldn't run the ball very well, nor throw the ball. I mean, a lot of times, part of it is as a quarterback is, you know, how much time do you get? Now, granted, I agree with you that the other quarterback is a bit more versatile in the fact that he can run, you know, I agree with you there. But this kid won the starting job. He won it for a reason. Not the coach is not going to. Um, um, let's face it; those coaches' jobs are on the line all the time, so they're not going to not put who they believe is the better player out there on the field.
Yeah,
And also, let's not sell Ohio State's defense short against Indiana. It wasn't like that
Absolutely.
Fernando Mendoza went out there and lit the world on fire. In fact, I was watching that game at a place called Solly's in Washington, D.C., which is an Ohio State alumni backers bar where people would go to watch the games.
mhm.
And all I saw was Mr. Mendoza. He did persevere in the end, but he was getting the hell kicked out of him, too. If you saw his jersey, saw his arms and legs, this guy was basically being thrown around like a rag doll. But when the bell was rung, he did make
Answer
very
the
critical
call.
plays, and I think he set himself up for not just only winning the Heisman, which he did win. He also has likely set himself up to be seriously considered for a top pick in the upcoming NFL draft as well, because he does have toughness traits and playmaking traits.
Mhm.
But for Julian Sand to play in that game and survive, to me, it's a lot of teaching tape. Not overhyped. He's just a young quarterback, and he's got receivers behind Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith who don't get as much playing time. So it's about chemistry and timing and all that. And they'll eventually get on the field too, because within a next year or two, both Tate and Jeremiah Smith are going to be gone.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah, I
true.
agree with you there
But
wholeheartedly because the Buckeyes defense played well as well. One of the things that I noticed about the difference between the two is, like I say again, a couple of those sacks were, man, throw the ball away, you know. And when you say that, just like last year, one of the best things that could have happened to Ohio State was losing to Michigan and
Yeah,
then Michigan clown the way they did because they took that one and they learned from it. They got better. And I'm hoping that's the same thing. I'm hoping that's the same
I think
thing.
it's likely to be the same thing. Nick Saban said it very well. Anytime his Alabama teams went undefeated during the regular season, and it wasn't good for them. They needed to have a game or two where they struggled, if not lose, because you'll learn a lot from losing as opposed to learning a lot from winning all the time. So he would always get nervous if his teams went undefeated. And he wasn't really that upset if they lost one game and built on it from there. So we'll see what Coach Day does with that defeat to Indiana.
yeah,
I agree with you.
losing one game isn't an end all, not by any stretch
No,
of the imagination. But it did, but it was telling. And there was a lot of, for me, there was a lot of things that I questioned. I questioned some of the play calling as well. You know, that there was times when I felt there was a need to be slightly more aggressive. You know, and of course, hey, look, you're the coach, you're on the field, and he's in real time. You know, and I have the advantage uh, 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 quarterbacking from the chair and second guessing a lot of decisions he made even after the fact. But I do feel like there was some of the play calling that was a little suspect. I felt a little disappointed in some of the play calling, but overall, like I said, I like Sayon, but I still, in my estimation, I feel he's a tad bit, tad bit overhyped, but I think that he will arrive. I think that he'll get there. And I say that even saying this, thinking about McCoy, we go back, during his period there 2 years ago, and he kind of had a similar collapse where he fell apart in a big game and he didn't recover, and it was to his own demise in some respect, in that he bailed out of Ohio State, which he probably would have wound up faring better had he have stayed there in terms of his now career. He probably would have fared better. But we look at even his bounce back after he went to Syracuse. Man, to play, he balled. I get it, different. I get it. They're playing different talent, but he really bounced back well. So yeah, Sam's sticking around. He's a young guy, and I think he's going to be good. He's going to be better than good. but I still feel right now today I question some of because I question some of his decisions and lack thereof, some of the anticipation and some of the hesitation. Because after you've gotten into the season and late into the season, yeah, we get it, freshman, but at that point, man, that stuff is out the door. You faced a whole lot of different talent, different scenarios, and a quarterback, the one thing that is most demanding of a quarterback is you have to be able to just make decisions like snap,
You,
like that on the
then
field.
you
You got
apparently
to be
didn't
able to
watch the
do it.
University of Michigan Ohio State game. That guy was on point. If there was a game where I think a quarterback of his youth would
Mhm.
fall apart, it would be in the big house. And he went in there, the whole team, not just only him, went in there and they played lights out in a way that I haven't seen really in several years. I
Agreed.
mean,
Agreed.
they did he did very well. He looked comfortable in the pocket. Michigan did send blitzes. They picked it up and he just executed. He took what was in front of him, did not necessarily panic after throwing that interception, and made good decisions. The very things you don't think that he does consistently enough, he did, and did it in spades.
And I hear what you're saying again. One thing you got to think about is this: when a defense goes in there and they say, you know what, we're going to settle out here. You're not going to beat us throwing the ball deep.
Yep.
And I think that's what their defense did. And had he attempted more throws, and a lot of times he didn't have the time, but attempted to throw the ball deep, versus you got to be smart enough to say, okay, all right, I got to do what I can to get the ball in the hands of my top receivers, and let's face it, um, well, again, you got to say that was a defensive slobber knocker there, man, because both teams, when you look at it, they did some things, Now, mind you, the tight end for Indiana was able to get loose a little bit, but they really did some things. So
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm gonna say this because of a game, sometimes your defense is going to be the one that has the better game. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's going to be your offense that's going to be the side that has the better game. It is what it is.
Whole
Yeah.
lot of dudes on both teams after that Big Ten championship game spent extra time in the tub and also in the massage room.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
man, oh man, that was like an NFL style old school game. I mean, it was Indiana won by 3 points, 13-10. So hats off to them, and hats off to them winning their first football championship in a long time. So much respect to Coach Signetti.
Yeah, I think
The
he
probably
did his
the
job.
best part about the way it went down is that there's more intrigue, and now it's more exciting because there's nobody penciled in to say they're going to win. And so we get to figure it out in real time. And so I do enjoy that as a fan, as a sports fan. But the other part of me though, as an old time sports guy that used to play, it's just hard for me to understand and accept. I don't because it's something about you when you played and you were a competitor and the belief and the confidence that you have. I don't believe in pressure. I don't believe in anyone being able to defend me and all. I don't believe in that. Either I perform or I don't perform. Has
Yeah,
nothing to do with the opponent in front of me. Never ever, never under any circumstances would I ever concede that anyone was better than me, performed better, could stop me, can handle. That's just not in me. It's not part of my DNA. I don't even buy it. And so sometimes when I'm evaluating these folk and I'm looking at them, it's hard for me to understand because the expectation that I have, you've been showing me something and
yeah.
I keep asking for more. And that's part of that part too about being a coach. It's a balance there, but you just keep, because though no one's perfect, but the standard is excellence. It's the pursuit of excellence, you know. And so it's kind of difficult when I see less than that. It's like, come on, man, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Come on, show me. I want to see it. But yeah, he's going to be a good quarterback, and he's got some growth, which is wonderful. I don't think that he's at his ceiling at all.
Oh
But
no.
today, yeah, he's tad bit overhyped. But today, tad bit overhyped. But tomorrow and some years out, yeah, he's
And the
gonna be
thing
great.
is, I think he'd be the first person to tell you that he's got a long way to go.
Hmm.
And it would be credible.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Michigan, how about that? The school as well as
Oh
the football
God.
program.
That,
Oh, are you referring to the
yes,
clowns
yes,
move? The very disappointing, you know, I mean, that's not even us judging. Man, that's just disappointing. Come on, man. Grow up. That's
yeah.
disappointing. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing, shameful, and disappointing.
And I think, even after, okay, the fact that he, that he had this going on behind the scenes, his reaction to it all. I mean, the way
Oh
he,
yeah.
and I think it's like, are you serious?
And dude, married, right? I mean, like,
Yes,
come on,
yes.
man.
First off,
Like,
yes,
have you know?
yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's
Okay,
an
there. But
embarrassment.
then after you caught, you just man up and move on. He didn't do that. He went the other direction. I'm like, oh my God. It's disgraceful, I guess. That's the only one.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Look what he had thrown away. A good marriage. He's got 3 daughters,
Mhm.
all for a 7-year itch. And to me, a man that would cheat on his spouse. Say the same thing for a woman, but a man that would cheat on his spouse, to me, has no honor. If you could cheat on something as important as that, you could basically be mistrustful on other issues too. You can't be trusted. If you can't safeguard that, you can't safeguard much of anything. And it's even worse when you are employed as a coach by a university that knew all this and did nothing for a long time until somebody had to step forward, and then you acted. You sat on a powder keg, hoping that it would not explode.
It
That's like a
makes you
damning
wonder.
indictment on how they do things.
Doesn't it make you wonder though? Had they have beat Ohio State, would we know about this?
I think it might have come out anyway, but it wouldn't be surprising if they would have sat on that as it is. They sold their souls to the devil, winning at all costs, and they lost at all costs.
Hmm. Because it just makes me wonder, man. Had they have won, if we would even know this, but it is just so, it's despicable. It's a trifling thing. Everything in front of him, just, it's not just the wife, but it is the wife, but it's the kids, and to that you got kids. The level of trust that's thrust upon you, folk believe in you, whether you say you want to be or not, you are a role model.
well,
And all that, man, and you do, man, it just looks ridiculous.
the,
Shameful.
I look at again, like I say, what he had to
Shameful.
lose. What apparently he wasn't thinking of how much he had to lose, and
Jeez.
then
No,
the
it
other
wasn't.
part of it was to me still. I'm even more. I guess I'm as blown away by his reaction to it all.
Stalking, man. Like,
I'm like, are
Yeah,
you
the woman tells
serious?
you no, the relationship is done, and you persist in wanting to talk to her anyway. You fire her, and then you stalk her, and then she finally goes up to the school and say, "Hey, this is what's going on. I know that you might be aware of this, but here's additional details." The smoking gun, if you will.
not to make this a political thing, but I'm gonna tell you something. But see, uh, examples and leadership, it matters.
It does.
And
Yes.
the world tends to hearken to the voice of leadership, and they likely will indulge in similar mannerisms. And I'm saying that to say this: our current leadership, that's the tone, that's the standard. And so people think that, hey, what's the big deal? And they do things that it mirrors a lot of those same things, and it's ridiculous. It mirrors the same stuff, no sort of restraint, and just, no real rule, and you could just do whatever, and it's ridiculous. And that's the way, society, they adjust, and then they tend to follow suit. And that's, to me, kind of what you see, because the boldness that you have to be that crazy. I mean, what are you thinking, man? I mean, it wasn't even a secret anymore, and you still, in hot pursuit. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I hate to, because I want to move on with some more sports, but it goes to show. I think right here it shows that there are things that people deal with, mental illness of some type, because that's right there is uh, that shows that something is wrong. But I really want to move on. Let's talk about these Browns.
I got to take and throw something in here. For those of you that like the political end of this, every other Monday night at 8 o'clock, we do a thing called the the art of argument, which takes the topics of the day, and my son-in-law and I argue about them. He's a pretty staunch Republican, and I don't see things that way. Shameless plug there, but what the heck? I did want to bring up before we move into the Browns. What did you guys think about what Brutus did at the end of that Michigan game?
I couldn't stop laughing.
I laughed at
still
that
not-
for 2 or 3 days.
I'm still laughing at it now. Good job on Brutus. I call that game the Brutus Buckeye game. He stole the show. No question about that.
He surely did. And did you guys see it down there in Texas?
I didn't.
Brutus
Oh,
Buckeye
yeah.
at the end of the game, he went down to the Michigan end zone.
Or towards the end of it.
Yeah, it was towards the end. He went down towards the end, and it had snowed, so it was pretty easy to write in the snow.
Mhm.
What he did was script Ohio, and went up with his 2 little feet and scratched out the M on Michigan.
Yep. Or
Oh,
X on the M.
if I can find that, I'll show you. I'll get it to.
And dotted the I.
Yeah, and he does. It was so flippin' funny. I just couldn't believe he did that. That'll go
No
down
need
in
to plant a
history.
flag.
That's
No
what I was
need
gonna
to
say. It was
plant a flag
better.
like
It was
Brutus
better.
It was
did.
better than the flag.
Yep, it was
The
better than
coaches
the
knew.
flag.
The coaches knew what his team was planning if they beat him, and they were told very specifically, "Don't you dare." But Brutus Buckeye, man, that made my whole weekend. That was so bad. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
let's move it into some. Let's take the Dallas first. You guys are not doing too bad this year.
Well, we're we're not doing too good, but at the same time, Evan and I, we were talking, and there's still a slim chance, for them to make the playoffs. And of course, this is a season that, um, for all intended purposes, originally I said that we, I wonder if we're going to win 7 games. And, and I look at them, and because I knew that, well, first off, I didn't realize our run game is better than what I thought it was going to be. But I knew the defense was suspect, to say the least. Now it's better than it was, but it's still suspect. So with that, there's still that glimmer. If they win these next 3 games, I think 2 of the games is Commanders and the Giants, very winnable games. And I'm trying to think who's that third game. Oh God, it escapes me now. But
Florida.
and now, but at the same time, the Eagles would have to lose out, and they are crumbling. I don't know what's going on. It's been one of the more fickle years in football I've seen in a long time. It's like looking crazy anyway. I don't know. It looks like I'm about to say now that I think the Rams may be the team to beat the rest of the way through. Maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
As far as your Cowboys, though, Gordy, so the challenge that they have is the Chargers. So that's the third team.
That's it, and that's
So
definitely a
and so
challenge.
that is the challenge. The Commanders this year, they're not the Commanders of last year, season ago. And of course, the Giants are, a beacon of inconsistency and bad football anyway. So nothing there. You guys should, you know, expect it to beat the Giants. And then the Commanders, I don't know. That's hard to say, but based on the way they've looked, and the health, getting healthy at the end of the season, it's likely that you'll win that game too. But the Chargers, that's gonna be a good game there.
That one there, because our defense really hasn't shown me a whole lot of promise. That's one of the ones I don't think they'll win, and I just don't see Philly just totally just.
Well, you guys down there have about the same problem that the Browns have up here, being a little,
No, it's
yeah,
kind of the
I
opposite
want that.
because Dallas has a good offense.
But they, excuse me while they took and you've got 2 or 3 players on that team that are really great, including, what is it, Dak Prescott, the quarterback?
Yeah,
He's
he's
decent.
played good football this year. He's played really good
But
football.
when it comes down to it, there is no I in team. And that's what it seems like you guys have quite a bit of, is that I. They, to me, it just seems like they'd play better if they could. I don't know if it's coaching or what, but it just seems a shame that they can't get it all put together. Because I think you guys could make a run for it. Now the Browns, on the other hand,
Yeah, listen.
I look for at the end of the season, if they don't fire at least Andrew Berry, and at very least Stefanski, you're going to have another year like you did last year. Yeah, that's Stefanski. How can you be a coach, a number one NFL leading coach, and all of a sudden the next year you ain't nothing? Something's wrong with that picture.
A lot of reasons. But what one of the things is though, see here's the thing, man. And this is what blows my mind, but it's not like it doesn't happen, but it happens quite a bit more than we probably realize. But you have this situation going on amongst the ranks when they draft. The one guy likes a player and another guy doesn't. And they're not on the same page about the guy they're investing in. And it creates a problem.
Uh,
You just got a situation going on in that locker room because we look at Shadur now, and we clearly see, had he have been at the helm during the beginning of the season, I'd venture to say the Browns would be in a lot better position, even if it just meant knowing exactly the move you were making going forward for the upcoming season, how I'm going to draft now. But I think that as fast as this cat is picking up, I think, man, that they would they would have a higher degree of certainty about what they're going to do with draft picks and this, that, and the other than they have right now. And then so you don't, even though you kind of want to blame Stefanski, do we know Stefanski that decision um not to play Shadur was Stefanski's decision based on some of the rumblings we've heard from that organization in terms of yeah, he wasn't necessarily my guy or my pick. I'm like, wow. So you're not, as a coach, you're probably not all that motivated to put him on the field. When you hear something like that coming from ownership. So uh, I don't know
I
what to
mean,
say about them, man.
I mean, Pat, I hate to break it to you, and yeah, things can change on a dime. Don't be surprised if the owners bring both people back. Until we actually hear from sources connected to them definitively that they want to make a change, they're coming back. And they told you that as early as this summer in that press conference about how they actually like how the two of those people work together. There are expectations. They all collectively are to blame about the Deshaun Watson fallout. And they also want to see these two see it through to build a team. Don't be surprised. They're
yes,
not tired of them.
the whole thing, Serge, is the fact that back before the season started, there was I got this from one of the NFL feeds that I think it was Browns Beat, something like that. Um, they they said in there that Stefanski and um, what's his name, Andrew Barry,
Yeah.
were on. They were going to be on the hot seat if they didn't win more than 4 games. I don't see them winning a fourth game. I really don't.
I
They're
don't
going
I don't see them winning a fourth game either.
they're going to get their ass handed to them probably tomorrow about this time,
Man, they're
a
going
little later.
undefeated the rest of the season.
And to be honest about it, I think Shador has got quite a bit of talent. He's a hell of it. He's got a good arm on him, and he's fairly accurate. But he's making rookie mistakes, but everybody expects that.
Right.
I think if they were to do away with anything, I think the middle range of management ought to be held responsible and put out the door. Now, on that same note, they did get rid of one because he knew it was he knows what's coming, and that's that Deepadista. That guy was a flippin' walking fire, and he was just
55, 101, his record as a chief strategy officer.
Ow.
there. You go, and he saw that he sees that coming. That's why he bailed. Oh, I got another
Yet,
job. See ya.
yet the one thing that I will give him credit for is bringing the Browns pretty much into line with a lot of sports teams and building analytics departments. What you can fault the Browns for, however, is maybe an over reliance on analytics and not enough on the human factor. But data has always been around in sports. It's how you apply that data that makes the difference between winning and losing. And the Browns haven't really found that consistent balance yet as to how to use what they acquire during games and during building up teams. Only thing I could say about Mr. DePodesta is that.
Well,
You know,
I
okay,
kind
go
of
ahead, I'm
think that
sorry.
it's gonna. I think people are going to be surprised, but I think by the end of the season, they're either going to rebuild completely from middle management down, or they're going to stay. And if they stay, that's going to be the end of it for next year, because they're some of the picks they've had are actually pretty good, but some of them,
Right.
Deshaun Watson, who they're talking about putting back on the field, by the way.
I don't see it happening. I think he's
I
letting
hope to hell
he's
not. He's done.
he's being paid. He is being paid the biggest severance package in the history of professional sports.
That's it.
Go away money, stand in the corner, be a good soldier, and maybe after next year we'll be able to find a way to let you move on.
Yeah.
Hey, let me interject for a second. Whose idea was it to bring Deshaun Watson? I mean, was that DePodesta, Andrew Berry? Do we have any idea who was behind putting together that blockbuster deal? Because we
Let
had
me
to
cut. Let me
all
cut the
kinds of
Gordian.
cash.
Let
all
me cut
kinds
the
of
Gordian knot. All of them, but
Okay.
all of them. They all
Everyone.
had a part in that decision. They all collectively decided that they weren't going to pay Baker Mayfield, give him a contract extension. They were
Mhm.
all looking for an upgrade, so all are to blame. They've been telling us that the entire time, yet people don't believe them. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't believe me either, because I mean, look, people forget Deshaun was that dude.
He
No
was
one thought that he was going to wind up with a broken body. He can't do anything about that. That's just unfortunate.
in a broken
And
character too, in the eyes of many.
well, the broken character part, I mean, you got a lot of cats up in there with broken characters, to be quite frankly, but he has a broken body, and he can't rebound. He hasn't demonstrated that he has the to rebound. It
I
hasn't happened thus far.
I gotta say something here. That what you just hit on, Nate, is something that I've thought for the last couple of years with this team. You get on the field and play for 20 minutes or 15 minutes. You play a quarter, and all of a sudden it was like your old buddy from that um, went to the Ravens, that wide receiver. I just
Oh,
pulled my back out. I'm going to be off 6 more weeks. Cleveland has got that. If you look at I looked at the injury report before we came on the air here. This injury report said that Njoku's going to be out,
Yep.
Denzel Ward is going to be out. There was
Yep.
6 people. Every flipping time you get on the field, these guys can play for 5 or 10 minutes. They go in there and they get hurt. Now, what the flip's the sense of even keeping that? I know that some of the stuff might be a little late, but get somebody that young that don't get hurt. And
Well, I'll put it to you this way.
that's what the Browns are doing. They
I
play
don't
these
really.
guys, they get hurt. Oh I stubbed my finger. I'm going to be out for 6 weeks. Give me a break.
I think
that
this
gotta-
make
injury
it sound
There
like
report
is,
puncture
decided.
for
in
the
my
field.
eyes, there is no excuse for this shit. There really isn't.
You
None
got all those,
whatsoever.
I
you
think
got
the
all
injury
those
report
bad
you cited, Pat.
restaurants up there in Ohio, man.
Yeah, I think the injury report you cited, Pat, is more a recognition that they're throwing up the white flag without admitting that they're throwing up the white flag
That's
on
it.
key players
That's
and
it.
save them for next year.
Yes, that's it exactly, and that's where I was going to go. But I did have to say it made it sound like Groundhog Day. There,
Uh,
6 more weeks,
it's been brought up on this show more than once
but
that
yeah,
they've got any NFL
it's a
team, and this is what happened when they got rid of Kozar. For any NFL team, there's a clause there that says it's called diminishing skills. Why in the hell don't they use that on him and just dump him? He ain't gonna be no good to anybody. He really ain't. I don't see him ever playing another game here. But from
Well, for Deshaun
what the
Watson,
rumor mill has is he's going to play he's going to play his last year of the season. What, 4 games? All right, let's do this.
if the Browns put him on the field, Pat, it would be. Champion is right. I think that he has nothing left, but I also think it would be a PR disaster, given again how he came to Cleveland and under what cloud. Not just playing very well, but the character. And I also just he's being paid all that money. It'll be a salary cap hit. I found out that if they cut him, say today, the Browns would incur a $130 million hit against the cap. If they waited until next year, and if they were brave enough to make that decision, they would incur an $80 million hit against the cap. He's too big to cut, so they have to live with it for the next year, if not two.
I just don't. I don't see him playing anything here next year. I really
I
don't.
don't even know if
I
he'll
don't
play
either.
again, just based on
I
what
don't.
we've seen here.
Yeah.
These last.
So you paid the man a congressional appropriation, and he's got a deficit about the size of a government deficit when it comes to a salary cap hit.
They need to just go ahead and change his name, huh? Put on the back of his jersey. It's about them Benjamins.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they can't let him go for monetary reasons, at least not yet. But it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I think it's at this point it's good strategy to keep your studs out the game at this point, and let's see if we can move up. More draft capital.
Yeah. Another ping pong ball in the hopper.
Yeah. It's. I'm with you, Serge, on that. And I was thinking that before you even said it. It's a way of tanking without saying that you're tanking.
That's
But
right.
here's the other thing, though. Keep in
Because
mind,
any win
Cleveland-
at this point is it means nothing. But at the same time, and I say this, I got to say this too. In defense of Shador, man, one of the players I want to see gone is Judy.
Oh yeah.
Gosh,
His not fighting for that ball in the end zone is disgraceful.
he is not. He's part of the problem. Get the young man somebody he can throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
But
thing.
that's what I was going to say. But that's the problem with Cleveland. They've already demonstrated that you can't trust them in terms of draft picks. I mean, they do. I will say this: my hats off to them. They do a good job drafting running backs. They've done a good job doing that for a number of years. And to be honest, I think they've done I think they've stumbled into something drafting Shadur. But do they? I'm not sure they still
Come on,
want
man.
Shadur.
Hey, Miles Garrett. Come on, man.
Oh,
They've
man, come
done
on.
some
Yeah, that
things.
goes without being said.
And
Carson
they
Schlesinger,
did
that
get some
rookie
linemen.
linebacker.
Yeah, they
They
got a
got
couple
some,
lines.
yeah.
But the point I'm saying is this. Man, look, get you some wide receivers. But here's what I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Cleveland has the brains to do that. They may throw it in on Shadur and try to get a quarterback. And if they
Yeah.
Oh,
do
they're going to
that,
do that. They're going
you
to do
know.
that too.
I think they'll
and
do that
if they
anyway.
do that, I think it's a mistake. I think you roll with Shadur or even the other young man,
Dylan
Dylan.
Gabriel.
Yeah, and get you some receivers, somebody to throw the ball to, man. So you
The thing
can
is, they want to put this quarterback issue to bed. I mean, they're still deliberating over all that, but I'm not so sure that they want to entrust, as unfair as it may sound, a 5th round pick to be their franchise QB. And if they feel that they could do better and they're in a position to do better at the top end of the draft, they're going to take that guy, regardless
Oh, yeah.
of Shador. They're
That
going to do it.
And I think
but to me, that is from a draft capital standpoint, that it makes sense if you can
it makes sense if Shadur was a real 5th round pick. We know Shadur is not a real 5th round pick.
but
We
my
know
thing,
that
Right.
is very political.
my thing is this, okay? You can't really the assessment on Shador, really because we'll have to see as the season plays out.
That's right. It's
But-
still ongoing.
And I don't like trashing players, but I'm so so sick of Judy. I mean, the receipt. Who is the other guy? Who is his? Because basically, Judy is what his number one, right?
Yeah.
On another team,
That's
he would be
sad.
a very good number two.
He's suspect. At this point in his career, he's just things that he does. And I say that because, and you're right. You may be. He may go somewhere and do some things, but he was supposed to have been. Coming into the league, and he looked like he could have been. He looked like he could have been a great receiver, but he
Yeah.
just, to me, never really was that dude.
But
And
his not fighting for that ball when it was
yeah,
him and the defensive
yeah,
back on top of each other, that was piss poor. I'll be very blunt about that.
yeah.
It's like, how do you let that man wrestle that football out of your hands? And instead of being a touchdown, it's an interception, touchback, going back to the 20-yard line for the Bears offense.
And,
Well, I'll
and
give
the,
you
How do you
the
do
another
other
it?
one,
example.
what he had a ball knocked out
Yeah,
down
that's what I was
around
gonna
the
He
say.
red
did.
That's the
zone.
other
Come on,
example.
He
man. This
did.
dude
As
is
you don't have the wherewithal in you to know that in my mind, okay, I already know that I got to hold on to. That's what everybody say. Value the ball. You already know that people potentially are looking to poke the ball.
that's part of
It's
the
like, isn't
game.
that like the part of the game? I'm like, you already know. And I mean, the way he done it was so nonchalant and
It was
casual.
nonchalant.
I'm like,
That
I mean,
makes
so
his yelling at Shador when he did on the sideline a few weeks ago ring hollow, ring
Yes,
terribly
and that's
hollow.
the other part of it. I'm like, that dude is cancer for that offense. He is uh he has been a little bit of an issue other places he's gone. I look at I gotta go back here just a little bit if you let me
He's only
here.
been one other
Uh
place,
um
Denver. That's
um
it.
the guy Cowboy picked up Pickens, and we watched this guy. All of a sudden, it's like, man, this dude's he's the real deal. And then we see him give up on plays. One ball, he didn't stick his hands out.
Oh, you mean George Pickens? Yeah.
Yeah, Pickens, yeah. And I'm like, because I'm like, man, they're going to have to pay him some big money. Okay, now what I see with him is when he's happy, oh, he's going to play. But he's very unprofessional.
Yes.
And that's what I look at Judy, and I see that same thing. He's very unprofessional. Come on, man. When you out there, once you make it to the league, you do this, all the things you do to get there. And then when you get there, you represent you. And they got cameras every angle. They can go back and look at all this. And now you get your mouth poked out because they don't offer you a bunch of money. And probably if they keep, for instance, if Dallas keeps Pickens, if they keep him, they probably will franchise tag him next year. He's not going to get that big money. He hadn't showed everyone, and we see why he got run out of Pat's favorite team, Pittsburgh. I mean, Pat's other favorite team, Pittsburgh. So
If you can't play well for Mike
sleeping again.
Tomlin, who's a disciplined coach about as any in football, then you can't really play for much of anyone. Mike Tomlin is the yeah, I know
There
you
it
do.
is.
I know, but Tomlin is in that Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick kind of school that if you don't do what you're told, you're ran out of town.
Yeah.
He did that to
and
Juju Smith-Schuster and
Yeah.
George Pickens, Antonio Brown. Once he put up with them only for so long, and they're out.
And I'll say this, about that team up there. He has we've seen them overachieve. He's a good coach. I still think he's a good coach. He's that old school type coach. So yeah, but that team up there, Pat's other team.
You know what? But you said something. You actually landed on something. When you think about Judy, you think about Baker Mayfield, and you can actually think of a few other guys. Okay, all those guys really are talented,
Fair.
but they lack that maturity. It Baker, because Baker, come on, This Baker Mayfield that we've seen play over the last year or so, couple of years,
Yes.
is not the version of Baker that Cleveland had.
No, and he admitted
And
that
when
himself.
we look at when we look at Jurdy, okay, a talented player, there's something wrong to me in the Cleveland organization when they do their evaluations of these players. They screw up on that part of the character,
Or downplay it if they know about it.
yeah, and yeah, or downplay it, and then they go for it, and they don't know how to bring out the more positive pieces of this individual to help them mature like they need to. And then when I look at it, it's like they miss, and the reason why I say they miss it and like they downplay it, but almost maybe they just miss it because look, they made the assessment of Shadur, well, not just them, but the whole NFL, that he had bad qualities. That's the reason why he slid to a fifth round draft pick, not because of his talent, but because of who they thought he was as a person. And he had demonstrated that he's completely not that.
I also think
But
he
so-
took bad advice about positioning himself too. But if you talk to Shador one-on-one, yeah, there's the disconnect between what happened in the draft and who he is as a person. But I still think that he took some bad advice by people trying to position him in the draft and how he handled it. He tried to handle it like it was a recruiting trip when he should have handled it like a job interview.
Yeah, that's wisdom there too.
All right, guys, it's about that time to start doing our picks
Okay.
for the
All
coming
right.
week.
I've been designated the reader here, so let me dig up my list here. I have it ready to go. We have 2 games to pick for today to start with. So let me call up these guys. Okay. Our first game is going to be Eagles at Commanders.
Oh boy. I live here in the DMV. I could go
Yeah.
first.
I specifically want to hear Nate's pick here,
Oh yeah.
Mr. The
I also live in the DMV area, Serge.
Okay.
But hey, we got basically right now, both these teams are playing suck buddy. But you know what, Gordon? We're talking about Dallas and how this plays out with the Eagles, and you realize that the Eagles and the Commanders are going to play 2 times here in the next 3 games. These 3 games, they got two of them are against the Commanders. And this is hard, man, because man, the Commanders aren't in command anymore, man. It hurts. And
Last year.
but you know what? Gosh, I can't rock with Philly. I got to go with the Commanders, man. Even as broken as they are, and this, that, and the other, I got to roll with the Commanders, man. Because
for me, you go ahead.
I can't go with the Eagles, man.
Serge, what
can't
about
roll
you? Because you live up there too.
Oh my gosh. A few weeks ago, I'm sure you guys saw the game on Black Friday. The Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
It felt like a mafia hit. Chicago came into Philadelphia and did them on the run in the run game for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2 bills on their run defense. You hung 200 on that run defense. And Philadelphia traditionally has had one of the toughest, meanest, most intimidating front sevens in football. They're banged up this year, and Chicago came in there and just treated them like it was Al Capone in a drive-by hit. Given that the Commanders, they've had the injury bug. Jaden Daniels has been in. Jaden Daniels and other players have been out. So they've had an up and down star-crossed year. I know. I think it's in Washington, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to have to give it to the road team to win. It'll be an ugly game.
Oh,
And
man.
I still think that Philadelphia's got enough self-pride, or what remains of it, to try and pull it out. But it's an ugly game.
Well, Philadelphia definitely has more to play for than Washington does. But I got to go with Washington because they should be motivated to try to stick a thorn in Philadelphia's side. But the unfortunate
Motivation
thing
doesn't
is
suck.
these 3 games they got left, 2 of them are against the Commanders. So
Yep.
Wow.
All
Well,
right.
Yeah, they got, I mean,
I'm going to go with
233 yards.
I'm going to go with the road team as well. Serge, you made some excellent points about it. They still have plenty to play for. On paper, they are the superior team. What they do in the playoffs, well, we'll worry about that. This is the here and now, and just the matchup itself just favors the Eagles for me. So, plus I have in-laws in Philadelphia, so they'll give me all kinds of grief if they find out I'm picking the Commanders. I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one.
just remember, y'all heard it here first. Commanders.
Okay.
Well, hey, maybe it's
We
the upset
heard.
special of the week. Who knows?
Commanders by 7.
Well,
Whoa. Whoa.
Now, mind you, Serge, I've never been wrong on a pick.
All right. Let's take this claim.
Right. He's never been wrong. He just doesn't get them all right.
he may not always be right, but he's never wrong.
But
Pat, I think you're up next.
I'm gonna go with
God,
Philly on this
sorry,
one. I'm taking Philly. I believe that they are the better team. I don't know what happened to the Commanders, but anyway. Now, although I agree with you, Nate, on one thing, the Commanders they're playing with house money. So yeah, they could be spoiled or just go in there and just what the heck.
Oh yeah.
Swing for the fence. So, but I honestly believe that this is going to be a good game.
I
I
think
don't
so
think
too.
Philly's going to go in there and just as to use your words. I don't think it's going to be a mafia hit. I like that.
I mean, what the Bears did to that run defense in Philadelphia was just like, wow. First and second armored divisions and those 2 running backs just running through Philadelphia's defense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely taking Philly.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Philly too, just because of the fact that I've watched a couple of their games. If they get it all put together like they should, I don't think they'll have any problem with Washington. But we'll see, I guess.
It's a big elephant there.
Okay, everybody's picked. Here's the late game tonight. We have Packers at Bears.
Mm.
Man. So
Monsters
Bears
of the
need
Midway versus the Pack.
I think I'm going to take Green Bay on that one.
But they're playing in Chicago, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're slow.
And see, that's the thing. And Chicago is playing better than. Man, I didn't see this coming from Chicago this year, but
Chi-Town.
I just don't know about Green Bay, man. You talking about a team that went out there and didn't beat Dallas, and then I don't know. My mind says take them, but just to be, I'm gonna go ahead and take Chicago.
Yeah. You can get that same Green Bay team that lost to Cleveland.
Yeah, playing down to the level of their competition. Yeah, that is a concern. I mean, for me, the Chicago Bears of the past they're not the Bears this season. I think they're peaking at the right time. Also, Green Bay's no slouch, although they've got injuries and what have you.
Michael Parsons is out.
Yeah, I think the Bears can get it done in Chicago, but it'll be a tough game. I mean, don't sleep on the Packers' offense, but I think they're beginning to put it together with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in Chicago. So I picked the Bears at home.
Feel the same way. Everything you just cited there, all of you guys about the Bears, That's why I'm going with. I'm going on. Just a couple of examples. Serge, you were talking about how the Bears performed a mob hit in Philadelphia. And
Yeah,
it
they
looks
did.
like they didn't even have to. They didn't even have to, stretch very much last week when they played the Browns. I mean, that
Oh,
was just
goodness, no.
easy peasy for them to win. So
It's like you
definitely.
brought the varsity league here. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, Pat, I think you're up.
Like I said, I think Green Bay is going to take that.
Okay, you're going with the upset.
Yeah.
All right, we go to the next one here. We start the Sunday games. Buccaneers at Panthers is first up.
Ugh. Will Tampa recover from their loss to the Falcons? All I know, I saw that video of Mike Evans walking off that field.
Mhm.
He was a charming man. I'll just put it to you that way.
Mhm.
And I guess Baker was being Baker, which is there are games where he's invincible, and then there are games where he starts off invincible, and then the big mistake is made, and you lose the game.
I wonder where you've heard that before.
Yeah,
Pat,
you
you and I
know,
have been watching those games for far too long when number 6 was in Cleveland.
Oh,
That's how it would go.
I'm gonna take Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Likewise am I. I'm rolling with shake and bake.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think I'll go with Tampa too. I mean, the Panthers are coming up, but I don't. If the Buccaneers win, it might not be because of Baker. It might be in spite of.
I am going to go with the Buccaneers as well. Although, again, I will not be surprised if the Panthers pull the upset here because they have been playing well. But which Buccaneers team comes to Charlotte tomorrow? That's
True.
really the big question.
Mhm.
If they shake off last week, they have a very good shot. But if they play like they did against the Falcons, play down to them, I give the Panthers a really good chance because they have really come up and come into their own. So going with the Bucks as well.
so is that it?
No,
Yeah, everybody's
Mhm.
picked here.
yeah,
Okay, we'll go to the next one. Oh, we're gonna love this one. This is the dream matchup we've all been waiting for. Bills at Browns.
Well,
It's going to be.
At this point, I think the Browns are going to get their butt handed to them.
Yeah, say the reserve.
I agree.
So
I
how many
agree.
people dressing for Cleveland? I mean, like
Yeah.
good Lord, man.
Look at my shirt.
Honestly,
Look at my shirt.
What you gonna play? Oh,
it's almost like we're I mean, man,
I gotta.
I'm watching the game because I want to see like you want to see if Garrett gonna get a record. You also want to
Yeah,
see how Shadur is gonna perform.
that's right.
You other than that, man,
Yep.
I think it'll be a Buffalo Stampede myself. I'm choosing the Bills, and it won't even be close.
agreed. And I'm gonna make another prediction though. Garrett is gonna get his record. He's gonna
Yeah,
get
I think so too.
that sack
I think so
because
too.
Josh Allen is gonna hold the ball. He's gonna run, and Josh Allen is
tough guy.
he's gonna challenge him.
Yeah,
Sometimes he thinks that he's I think he thinks he's a defensive tackle the way he runs sometimes
he
because
think
he'll
he's
just
tough. He's a
run up
tough
in
guy,
there.
man. He's
Man,
a
that
tough
dude is
guy.
tough.
Yeah.
6'6",
And
245, and
yeah,
has mobility.
yeah,
That's a
I am
tough dude
definitely
with
a
with
Josh
a
Allen
howitzer
fan.
arm.
I've been a
That
Josh
guy's a
Allen fan.
tough load to bring down.
He's a football player.
Yeah, exactly. We forget sometimes. Yeah, everything you guys have said. Just on paper, the Bills just have it together. The only thing that makes the Browns even worth watching, and I said, Serge, before you came on with us, I was talking with Gordon about this. We have a team in the Browns that remind me of the Chicago Cubs from about the early 60s until, the early 2000s. We don't have anything to cheer for except for, we have our superstar Miles Garrett. We want to see him play well. The Cubs in that era, at least part of that era, they had Ernie Banks. He was the only thing that was selling tickets for the Cubs at that time. And that's the only thing the Browns have going on here. I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say Bills will win by 2 touchdowns minimum.
Yeah, it won't be close. And
No, not at all.
I know that they've got Waveland Avenue. Yes, they had Let's Play 2 today. Ernie Banks, shout out to him.
Mhm.
Also, they had Ryan Sandberg and some other players, but not too much to cheer for.
Here's another thought. Will Shadur leave the game unscathed? Will he leave the game unhurt tomorrow?
Well, that offensive
With
line.
everybody sideline.
And I'll say this. Well, I don't know about their offensive line, but that's one of the things that Cleveland did. They improved on with their offensive line. So
They got a monumental task ahead of them this offseason. So we'll see what they do. But Buffalo, their defense is pretty decent. But Shador has to get rid of that football, and receivers have to catch that football once he gets rid of it.
Exactly.
Takes 2. But his speed, one of the reasons why they may end up drafting a quarterback high is he's got to process quicker.
Yeah.
And he's still learning how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's tough when you're a rookie.
Yeah.
Let alone second-year player.
Yeah. A rookie, and at the same time, realistically, because for the longest time, we didn't think he'd see any snaps.
Yeah, he wasn't getting no reps. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Hope he comes out the game without getting.
And he was getting what they would call the hungry dog periods. So they were actually developing the man. But a 5th round pick, they're not going to get any reps. That's just how the NFL operates.
Yeah, right.
Pat, I think you're the only one that hasn't given a pick. We pretty much know how you feel about it, but give us your thoughts.
What was what game are we on?
This is still Bills and Browns.
Oh, they're going to get their asses handed to them. I'll take the
Bills.
I'll take the Bills.
Okay, we're all on the Bills here. Okay, next one up here is Chargers at Cowboys. That's another intrigue.
Man, that's gonna be a rough game, man.
As much as I
want
to take my Cowboys, I just can't, because the Chargers aren't bad, and it depends on what that defense can do. Because sometimes I want to ask, you guys still got your cleats? Because maybe we could go up there and play on defense, help them out.
Come off the street.
Man, I'm gonna have to take Chargers.
Wow, man. With
Yeah,
all that Dallas got to play for, man.
I'll go with the Chargers too. I'll go with
Hmm.
the Chargers too.
I do it with reluctance. I could see the Chargers getting it done because they got a Harbaugh on the sideline.
Oh yes, man, rub it in.
Exactly. By default, I'll go with the electric Harbaughs. Chargers here. How about that, huh? The electric Harbaughs.
You know what?
That's another way to have fun with it is just to invent a nickname. So
I'm rolling with Dallas just because Dallas has so much to play for.
They still do.
They do.
They still have the division crown, and that's the only way they can make it into the playoffs. And of course, we just talked about it earlier. The Eagles are just going to have to collapse entirely. Now they're leaking oil. They're looking a little soft in places, but if they hold on, they'll have the division crown. They'll make the playoffs. Okay, from the sublime to the ridiculous. Next up is going to be Jets at Saints.
Oh boy.
Duds against the Fuds.
Oh, no. You know, the other week, the Saints
Saints,
pulled one
man.
out.
Saints, boy.
Well, they may have something to work with in Tyler Shuck, being the quarterback in New Orleans. The Jets. There's only one other team in the NFL that rivals the Cleveland Browns for just generational ineptitude, and
Oh,
that is
God.
the New York Jets.
Oh,
And
my-
unlike the Haslams who do want to win, the Johnson family who owns the Jets, they've got screw you money because they big pharma. They don't really care whether they win or lose, so long as they make money. They'll just simply find somebody else. They may have a good coach in Aaron Glenn. The Jets, like the Browns, are also looking for a quarterback. I think that it's going to be tough for them to win in New Orleans. I see the Saints getting it done.
yeah, I'm definitely picking the Saints.
Yeah, Jets need more than a quarterback, man. They're terrible, man.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Two more nicknames for you guys. You've heard them over the years. The not yets and the ain'ts. Well, in this case, by default, since New Orleans is hosting, and I'm sympathetic. I had an uncle who lived there, even though he wasn't a sports fan. So this one, I am going to go with the Saints, just by that much. If for no other reason, then maybe somebody will send me some beignets.
There you go.
There you
In a bag.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess I can say, well, my son-in-law is a Aints fan. One of my son-in-laws.
Mhm.
I guess, yeah. So I'm definitely going with the Aints.
Pat, I think you're the only one who hasn't picked yet.
Yeah, let's go with the Aints.
The Aints. Okay, so it's just clean sweep there. Okay, next up, Vikings at Giants.
I'm taking Minnesota right off the bat.
Minnesota, nice for me.
Yeah, Minnesota for me too.
Yeah.
Vikings, yep, looks like a clean sweep for all of us. They're again, nothing really to play for there. The Vikings are out of the playoffs. Here's another one, Chiefs at Titans.
Oh,
Even
man.
without even without a quarterback, man, the Chiefs should be able to beat the Titans, man.
You
Yeah.
got to remember the Titans.
Man, my
I don't know what
goodness,
happened
man.
to Chiefs, but
Well, they got beat
they're
up.
playing in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The,
You know what?
The two things happened to them in the space of a year. They got boat raced and got beat up.
Yeah.
Boat raced to the Super Bowl and beat up over the course of the year, and their head man is out for the year, and Patrick Mahomes. But I still think they have enough to go and take care of Tennessee.
Yeah, their defense most of the time plays very well or has played, pretty good. Yeah, I'll take KC. Yeah, talk me into it.
Same for me. Chiefs, they still have the team they don't have anything to play for anymore simply because they're, as you guys have just cited, all their key players are out. They've been knocked out of the playoffs, but they should be able to deliver on this game against an inferior opponent. Okay. We all picked there, I take it?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Bengals at Dolphins.
Bengals.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is a tough one for me because I know that Burrow is back, but their defense is just, to quote a Star Wars phrase, it's Banta Poodoo.
it is.
Banta Poodoo. I
It
mean,
is, it is, it
they
is.
couldn't defend Madam's gonorrhea and syphilis, to be very crude. But
Why
yeah,
don't you tell us how you really feel?
their defense is awful. I know that Miami had a changing of the guard by benching Tua, who wasn't playing very well. Quinn Ewers is their starting QB, but experience is going to beat out inexperience. So I can go with Cincinnati in this game.
Same thing, you guys have hit all fine points, and we have to ask the question, where would the Bengals be without Joe Burrow? They would they'd be just like the Browns. They'd be, looking up at everybody else, and they're just barely ahead of us, just barely right now.
And their coach still might get let go anyway, despite Burrow coming back. But their bigger issue isn't Zach Martin. Your defense just it stinks.
Okay.
I'm rolling with the Bengals, even though there's some there's some rumblings in Cincy, and the whole whether or not Joe Burrow really wants out and all this, that, and the other. But yeah, Joe is still, man, he's still a good dude, man. So I'm rolling with Cincy.
Okay. We all picked?
Yep.
Okay. Next up here, Falcons Cardinals. And nothing really to play for there, for either.
No.
I'll take Atlanta.
They're playing in they're playing Arizona. I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
Yeah. Man, I mean, you got this is a weird season, man. You got some awful teams. This team just didn't come to play, but I got to go with Atlanta.
I think the Falcons get it done. I think Kirk Cousins is still quarterbacking the team. And I've never been terribly impressed with Kyler Murray in Arizona. Never been a big fan of quarterbacks under 6 feet tall trying to play pro football. But
everything you said about the sorry. Everything you said about the Falcons, feel the same way. I'll take them.
Yeah, I made my pick. So
okay, Pat, you picked as well. That's right. You said Falcons.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's not gonna. And okay, from the ridiculous back to the sublime, we have Jaguars at Broncos.
That's going to be a good game.
Give me Denver.
I'm taking Denver.
Man, it's going to be a good game, man.
This is going to be an acid test for an up-and-coming Jaguars team, but it's so hard to play in Mile High. It just is.
It's going to be a good game.
Everything you guys have said about the Broncos rings true. Love Sean Payne. Where was he before this? New Orleans. He took the Saints to a Super Bowl and won. A guy who calls for an onside kick. What was it? The second play that he called for out of what was it? The halftime? Is that how it worked? And I mean, it's the guy's still genius. So definitely giving the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm just going with the Jags to mix it up, man.
Just to be different.
No, they're the ones that are making that Browns second pick drop lower and lower and lower, starting to win games.
Wow. That's killer. Okay. Next up here, Steelers at Lions.
Ooh.
I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Motor City too. Dan Campbell reminds me a lot of a young Bill Cowher. He might be crazy like a fox, but he's smart as one too.
Yeah,
and got the team playing on time.
I'm going with the Steelers only because.
Sorry, sorry, Nate. I had to do
that. I knew it was coming, but I'm going with the Steelers because Detroit still kind of, man, they're upsetting to me, man. It's like there's literally two different teams there. I mean, they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I mean, really, they are. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
I thought you were going with him because of what that is.
Just because of the way we feel about the Steelers around here, I am going with the Lions. I do like Dan Campbell. I mean, early on, with his coaching, I thought he was, kind of reckless in just, doing these low percentage plays, like going for fourth down plays or going for two. And I thought of it more because of the personnel. I don't think that they were ready to deliver. They're doing a little more of it. They're still, they're holding on by a fingernail right now to the playoffs, and they're really going to have to just knuckle down. But I think that they're pretty good at home, so I'm going to give the Lions the nod.
Any person that could take Jared Goff, who felt like a cast-off in Los Angeles, and infuse belief in him and pair him with the right coach that actually turned his career around.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't underestimate Dan Campbell. And Goff is playing some really good ball. Same for Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers, Chief Ayahuasca, I call him, because he loves shrooms.
Yeah,
It's peyote.
yeah, yeah. That dude.
But I'll give it to the young buck in Jared Goff to
Yeah.
get it done against a surefire Hall of Famer and Aaron Rodgers, as quirky as he is.
Yeah.
So we all picked
Definitely.
there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next up, Raiders at Texans.
Houston.
Yeah, give me the
Yeah,
Texans.
yeah.
I'm going with Houston. Yeah, my boy there.
Texans.
That's
too.
another good coach coming up, and D'Amico Ryans.
Yep. Love the Texans here. Number one defense. I mean, we've seen them take down two big ones. They took down the Bills a few weeks ago, and then the Chiefs ended up taking a tumble on a Sunday night game as well. So yeah, definitely Texans for me. We all pick?
I am.
Oh, okay. We're ready. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Another dandy. Patriots at Ravens.
I'm going with OHIO, taking New England. There's a lot about that team and the Patriots to like. A team that was on the upcome, needed the right coach. They already found the right quarterback in Drake May, and they've taken off. Watching Vrabel on the sidelines and hearing what I heard about him, how he puts a game plan and team together, it's a sight to behold. It's like an old school throwback coach. I would say Woody Hayes would be proud of him were he living and seeing Vrabel coach and play.
What happened to Mac Jones?
Oh, he's out in San Francisco.
Oh shit! That's why it shipped down. Okay, that would probably dress it.
Yeah, I'm taking New England as well.
New England for me. Love all the commentary you gave us there, Serge, about Mike Vrabel, which we had him here. I mean, we had him here as a consultant last season. So
Yes. And I saw how he basically stabilized that offensive line. He's active out there helping with the offensive line blocking. He even still does the pass rushing drills with the defensive linemen.
Oh wow!
And people forget he was a very good player at Ohio State. Played for a long time in the NFL. Started off in Pittsburgh, went to New England, and was versatile. He was doing stuff that J.J. Watt was doing before J.J. Watt did it. Sometimes being a tight end and offensive packages at the goal line, catching passes, and though he was a defensive player. That man was a football player, and he is a football coach, hands down.
Everybody pick here?
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots because Ravens, man, we just don't really like them anyway. Plus, they're inconsistent anyway.
Another Harbaugh on the sideline.
Yeah. And just Lamar, when is he ever going to break through? That's been the question that I've had with the Ravens. We watched them, and you see flashes of greatness. You see why he was drafted where he was.
You do.
But when does he ever deliver? When is Lamar going to deliver? That's going to be the big question. Okay, we have the picks on that one. Here's the Monday nighter. We have 49ers at Colts.
49ers.
I was going to
I'll
say the
take
Colts, but
I'll take
they
the
lost,
49ers.
yeah, they lost Daniel Jones to an Achilles.
Yeah, I'm taking 49ers.
Same here.
Frisco's peaking at the right time too themselves.
Yep. There we go. Another former Browns coach, the offensive coordinator. Grief.
Yeah,
They're all over the place, and they're not here doing it.
So we
thing
hanging
is,
on to
I
the
don't
front.
blame Shanahan for being where he is because the prospect of coaching Johnny Manziel, I would bail out too.
Understandable. Yeah,
We hanging on to the wrong coach.
there's that as well.
Uh,
Okay,
He wasn't going to waste his time with the kid
exactly.
that chose booze and raves at dance clubs over football.
Mhm. Okay, Pat, we have a unique week upcoming here. There are games on Christmas. I believe there are games on Friday and Saturday. Do we want to do those picks now?
Do the Thursday and Friday.
Okay, let me flip over here.
That's another good question. Are we gonna do a show next Saturday?
I'm not doing anything special. I mean, I'm hanging out with family.
I'm
about
not
the rest of you
doing
guys.
anything special.
man, everybody gonna be sitting around, man, still
All right, let's just plan on doing one
eating
then.
good.
So in that case, just do the Thursday and Friday.
Okay, we'll do Thursday and Friday. Okay, the Thursday and Friday games. All right, the early games here on Christmas. Cowboys at Commanders.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
That's for all the chips, boy. See, that depends though, because if the Cowboys lose, this game here to be, man, then they may not care. So if they don't, if they lose against the Chargers, they probably don't about the Commanders one way or the other. But I picked them to I picked them to beat the Chargers, so I got to pick them to beat the Commanders. 'Cause I think they're gonna make the playoffs, man.
I think Cowboys play Ebenezer Scrooge in Washington, and they'll get a win over the Commanders.
Go with the Cowboys as well. For all the same reasons that you guys have just cited. They may still be alive. Come Christmas. Okay, Pat, I think you have to pick.
I lost my whole line of thinking there. Thanks. What game was this?
This
Cowboys
is
and Commanders.
Oh,
Cowboys
Cowboys.
Commanders on Christmas. That's the 1 o'clock.
What did our Dallas fan pick?
Like we did.
Cowboys.
What with the boys?
He went with the boys.
Yep.
Then I gotta do just the opposite, so that my pick will be good.
Commanders.
Give me the Commanders. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The 4:30 game is Lions at Vikings. I would think the Lions would still have something to play for.
I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm take the Lions.
Yeah, they're gonna have to win that game after they lose. Yeah, I'll take the Lions.
Me too.
Lions as well for me. Okay.
Well, I figured you go Kirk Cousins, man.
Yeah, struggle. Okay, here's the night game. Broncos at Chiefs.
I'm taking Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll take Denver. Although I don't know what the hell happened to the Chiefs this year. They just don't seem like they're playing well.
They did out really quite clearly.
A lot of injuries.
To me, it's
Another
Bo
team
Nix versus
that-
the Headless Horseman. I'll take Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, now let me see here. That was it. Okay, the other games are on Saturday and Sunday, so we'll worry about that next week. So those were the games that we.
What are the Saturday games?
Give me a second. Texans at Chargers at 4:30, and then the late game at 8 o'clock is Ravens at Packers.
Ooh,
That Ravens game ought to be pretty good.
yeah.
Maybe
Texans
those-
game would be good.
Okay, so we're ready to wrap this
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
at about.
Yeah, I'm ready to wrap. I went working out at the gym, did over nearly 4.5 miles on the ellipticals. I'm going to shut her down for a minute and recharge.
Amen.
We got an hour and 45 minutes in a can. Not bad.
Wow.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up for this afternoon. Thanks everybody for tuning in with us. It's been real. It's been fun. But I won't say it's been real. Never mind. I won't even go there. Next week we probably will be here. According to everybody, what we've talked over this, then we can start talking about playoff games and good football and stuff like that. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap it. Remember, coming up tomorrow night, Lord willing, we're going to have the radioactive show, which will it'll probably be Christmas themed. I haven't decided exactly how yet, but we'll probably do a Christmas party or something here. And if you want to tune in for that, we start at 7:30 here on the network. And then Monday night, we usually do a show, but I'm not sure what shape Dale's in. So I think what we're going to do is play it by ear. If there is a show, it'll be the Art of Argument. And because I got a couple things I want to hammer him about. What Trump said about that, what's his name? He played Meathead on
Oh, Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What Trump said about that was just despicable. It shows he's got no respect for anybody in the country except for himself. We won't go there though. We got to get out of here. With that, thanks guys for coming in tonight. Look for us again next week, and we will see you all. Anybody else got anything to say?
All I can say is same bat time, same bat channel.
And
Hey,
we'll
look, make sure you ask your son-in-law, man, where to get that $1.98 a gallon gas from.
I've been asking him that ever since the first of the year. Every time he thinks he's got me. Well, what about the price of eggs being back to $1 a carton? Oh, and how about the $1.85 a gallon? Where's that at? Something rings true there. Anyway, see everybody and have a good week. See you guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
7-3. And I don't keep you. Later, bye.